Okay, welcome everybody to the Laal Button podcast, episode number 10. We had a special behind-the-scene person now. Our behind-the-scene person was not there, so we had to make do with whatever we had.
Yes.
And it's me, Sonny, Chima, and we have a special guest today, Gambit the Magician,
Thanks for having me on, guys.
also known as Sonny Patel,
Yes.
right? This guy, he met me recently at a comedy show, and very interesting careers, I would say.
Yeah.
He was an engineer, and then he studied law.
Yeah.
And he's also been a chef, and he's also a magician. So we'll
And
start you off. Sorry.
And volunteers at a few places, and he's into cooking. It's like long bio we got for him.
So we'll start off with the magic trick.
Yeah, I thought I'd show you guys a magic trick to start.
Mhm.
Everybody does card tricks. I'm going to do something non-card based for now. And then maybe later on we can do a card trick. Can you guys all see this? Like a spool of thread. Yeah?
Mhm.
Can I have you stick out your hand? Just going to hold that right there. So my mom does a lot of sewing. So I made this one up.
It doesn't have a needle, right?
No, not
It's
this
not
one.
gonna poke me.
All right. Can you see that single piece?
Yeah.
So the guys on the camera might not be able to see it, but you can. So we're going
But
to...
they trust us.
Yeah, so you're gonna be their eyes and their ears, all right? So I've broken it. Do you see the one piece?
Yeah.
Yeah, bring it down so Sonny can see it.
Okay.
Perfect. Look, 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go 3,
Yes.
right? And I have 4.
Okay.
Watch this. I'm gonna take these pieces, roll it into a ball. You see it being rolled?
Yes.
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, watch. I'm gonna take this. If you kind of wet it,
Mhm.
you can get it to stick to the rest of this.
Mhm.
You see that, right?
Yeah.
The count of 3, guys. Just blow on this with me. Ready? 1, 2. Ooh. Oh, it's getting a little bit stuck. Hold on. Let's see if we can take it out. I'm loosening it up a little bit. Oh,
Okay.
wow. Okay, there's still a little bit of a knot, but you see most of it come out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, watch. I'm going to see if I can take it out.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah.
Don't try this at home, guys. Okay, look. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to take it. Swallow it.
Mhm.
You see anything in my mouth?
No.
Under my tongue?
No.
In the back by that little punching bag thing?
I can check your mouth. I'm in there.
Yeah? That is true. Okay, watch. You can take it and kind of swallow it and push it. You'll see something pop up here.
Yeah.
You see something coming out, right?
Wow.
Push. If you push it correctly, you can get it to come out.
Oh my God.
Where is that coming out from, guys?
Your eye.
Whoa.
If you want to pull it. Okay, don't pull. Don't pull. Just hold it. Just hold. Whew. Lift that up. You want to touch it? Make sure it's wet.
Yeah, it is.
And that knot piece is gone.
Mhm.
Whew.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of geek magic, where you kind of do body manipulations or things with fire.
That was pretty sick.
Wow, that was pretty. I don't know what to say.
I feel like a kid who get convinced, though, this guy had some powers, you know.
Yeah.
Quickly, give me $50. I'm gonna make it disappear.
Oh.
Cool.
Nice. That's our first magic trick. Are you gonna do another one?
You want to see another one?
Okay.
Yeah, let's start it off. Do something a little different. We'll do something with cards. Okay. No regular deck of cards.
Mhm.
Yeah. What we'll do is I'm gonna have you guys pick out a card each, but don't look at it yet. Yeah. I will turn around in a second. And when I do, I just want you to look at your card, sign the face of it nice and big. So you can write your signature, smiley face, your bank card number, the PIN, anything you want. I make jokes sometimes, guys. Don't worry. And then show each other your card. And then don't show me. And then let me know when you're done, and I'll turn around again, all right?
Your phone is, where's your phone?
It's here.
Think some, it's here something. Yeah, disconnect.
Yeah? Let me know when you're done.
So
Yeah.
so
So
the deal is
sign the card nice and big. Show each other. Don't show me. Let me know when you're done. I will have to turn around. Not yet.
So you just put anything on it?
Yeah, anything you want, man.
anything you can read.
No, it doesn't have to be legible. Just a mark. Just a mark, so I know that that card is permanent to you. There's no way I could have manipulated it or made a duplicate,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Got it? Show each other. I don't want to see it.
Okay.
Yeah? All done?
Yeah.
And to audience.
Yeah, show the audience.
Yeah, we can do the audience.
audience.
They're on my side.
Okay.
Good? All right. Take the card. Can I get the first card?
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 second. Take the first card and put it somewhere in the middle. This is strange. Yeah, there we go. Something odd is happening with the deck. I'm sorry, 1 second, guys. I'm trying to figure this out. Oh, there we go. Okay. Off to a rough start. Okay, look, your card. I'm gonna take it, put it somewhere in the middle. I don't want to know where, but just around there. Yeah. One. Whose card was that?
That's mine.
It was yours. Can I have your card? Perfect. Same thing. Somewhere around middle. Yeah, like that. Close it up. I'm gonna take your cards and put them into the empty box. Yeah. And we're gonna close it up. And if I snap, the box jumps open.
Wow.
I'm gonna do this so you guys can both see it.
Ooh.
You see one card coming out, right? You can see my hands on both sides. I wasn't moving anything up, but I am touching the box. So we're gonna put that away. This time I don't want to touch the box. I don't even want to touch the cards. Just do this too. Take a look.
That's yours.
Yeah, that's my card.
Yeah?
That is my card.
Right.
Sick.
Wow.
Wow. That's pretty cool, man.
That was all right.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, that's pretty impressive. So anyways, we'll come back and we'll be doing, I guess, more magic tricks.
Yeah, we'll do some more.
Yeah, we'll be coming back to it. So yeah, let's talk more about you, about this whole crazy journey.
Yeah, let's do it.
So how long have you been doing magic for?
Ooh, magic has been about on and off 15 years so far. Yeah, it's been about 11 countries now.
11 countries.
Yeah, from performing paid performances to busking. Busking is just when you go around and you meet like strangers on the road,
Oh, I see.
right? And just find anybody and start performing for them.
Okay.
I do a lot of traveling, so whenever I go somewhere, I'll take a deck of cards and try to meet with the locals and,
Nice.
you know, show them something and then have them give me a little bit about their culture or something like that, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do people pay you?
When I do busking,
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, people they'll offer cash, which I try not to take because I'm just, you know, giving a little bit of my talent. But people like I'll buy you a drink or here, let me take you to this place that I know about or something like that, which I don't mind. And you know, they're offering something as opposed to just trying to give me cash.
Okay. How was the first time? Like the first time you went busking, like on the street?
Oh yeah. I think that probably started in Toronto. I went to Ryerson for a couple of years, and every time I would go to like school, you see somebody on the bus or you see somebody on the train, and that's how I started practicing like this move alone. That took me about like 50-60 hours just to kind of get. I didn't know how to do it, so I was just practicing, and I was like that nerdy kid on the bus or the metro, and I'm just like practicing with cards. So people would be like, "Show me a trick," and then I would have to show them something, or I wouldn't have to, but I would show them something, and it was cool. Like, that's how I started. Just like I went from an introvert to an extrovert, so it was a good experience.
Oh, nice. So you were an introvert.
Big time. I would like to definitely agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quiet, nerdy.
So was that one of your motivations to kind of talk to people, to be more extroverted?
I think so. Yeah, we all kind of want to be able to just approach anybody, and start a conversation.
Right.
As a quiet, shy kid, you always want to be like the hero in your movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to be able to do everything.
And be comfortable in different situations, right? Like,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that was good. Like, I would have to just talk to a random stranger, which isn't always easy,
Yeah.
Unless you have, I guess you're offering them something. So with magic, that kind of plays a role.
So how was that? Like talking to random strangers, like getting somebody's attention and telling somebody, "Hey, I'm going to show you a magic trick." How's that process?
Ooh, I guess depends on where you are, and the crowd. So I performed in restaurants, and you get some really happy people. And then every now and then, I think anywhere you go, you'll get like a grumpy person or somebody that just doesn't want to be part of the conversation.
Right. Okay.
So it's I find the best way to start this is, and I believe I saw another magician talk about it, was come in with a strong move. So when I used to work in restaurants, I'd be like, "Hey guys, you want to see a magic trick?" So it kind of sets the tone.
Right,
You're gonna see something visually spectacular.
Yeah.
you get the attention.
Yes, exactly. As opposed to, "Hey guys, can I show you something?" And being a little bit. Yeah.
It sounds like you're not sure.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. So like coming in visually strong, I found really helps.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like you don't have to say it.
Yeah.
It's like your movement says it all, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have a very visual art, so might as well use it to the best of my ability.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before that, you were into. So was this, I guess, along the way as well? Because I guess some of the things were maybe side by side. Like you were into engineering and then law, and you're also into cooking.
Yes. So magic was the only one thing on my list that was never part of the plan, I guess.
Okay.
I've always loved cooking from being a little kid to so 3 things I've ever wanted to do. First, I wanted to be an engineer. No, so first I wanted to be a lawyer as a little boy, and then an engineer, and then a chef.
Okay.
I never became a chef because I think you have to be trained to be a chef, but I've cooked in 6 restaurants in 3 countries, 6 kitchens. One was the Itobo Bay Yacht Club, not a restaurant technically.
Okay.
So I became a cook first, and then I did the engineering thing, and then I became a lawyer. Yeah.
Your hand is gonna kick you.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. It happens.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah.
But magic was one of those things that was just along the journey the whole way. So,
okay. It was just like a hobby.
Yeah. Total hobbyist become professional.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you started, like, who did you used to do it for? Like, what was the audience?
My audience was a lot of them were my little cousins in the beginning.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say girls. Girls.
You know what? My buddies have always used me to like go show her a magic trick, and I was like a great wingman from like Ryerson days moving forward, man. Like they would get me to go and approach and then talk to the girl and set it up, and then I'd be like, "Oh yeah," and then my friends would come over, and then they would do all the they would run their game. For girls, I've only kind of used, I think, the magic trick once. Okay. And it was to impress some girl that I had met at Ryerson at the time. And I never really used magic again after that because it was like, it kind of sets a tone of let me just entertain you as opposed to let me get to know you.
I see. Yeah. So did the magic work on her?
She called me back, but that was about it.
Okay.
So I got a call back. So it's a good first step. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good attitude to have because a lot of people do think of arts like different. Even like I used to do salsa. Yeah. And I noticed that everybody was kind of going into it just to meet somebody.
Okay.
Which is okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm not against that, but you also have to learn the art itself.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Right.
I did some salsa and bachata classes, and a lot of the single dudes were there. You could tell.
Yeah, you could tell.
They were on the prowl, right?
Yeah.
In between the salsa, like the partner switch, and they're like some of them are looking for the partner.
Yeah.
And they'll be like,
they want to be with like one specific girl.
Yeah. that happens.
right. Yeah. Okay, so first, how come engineer first?
So my dad is an engineer. He works for he's an avionics engineer. He works for Air Canada.
Mhm.
Shout out to Air Canada, just because.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we've always been like opening things and like understanding how it works.
Mhm.
I broke a couple things. That's why that came from. But like
Right.
you open things up and you want to learn how it works, right?
Mhm.
And I've always been a big science nerd, so I think I followed him on that path. I knew I always wanted the knowledge behind
Mhm.
it. I don't necessarily want it to be an engineer the rest of my life,
Mhm.
but I wanted to learn the physics and the science and how things work.
How things work.
Yeah, for me, that's always like even people, things like that, like psych.
Mhm.
I like to understand the how behind it.
So curiosity was.
Big man. You ever?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a book called Curious George. I read a lot of that as a kid growing up.
Oh, is there also a TV serial?
TV serial, and I think they were talking about a movie, or they made a movie at one point too.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Nice. I guess that was your childhood favorite.
yeah, it was one of my definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, man. So
Okay.
kept me curious.
So you were born in Quebec,
Yeah, born in
Right.
Quebec,
Montreal.
in Montreal,
Okay.
at Jewish General Hospital.
Nice.
Yeah,
Do
and
you
then
speak French?
and petit peu, and
Oh,
that
okay.
is the height of my. I've learned that one line with a nice accent just so I can say it.
Right. It means a little bit.
Yeah, it
right?
means a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I know in Spanish. I say
Okay.
un poquito.
Un poquito.
Yeah.
All right, now I can speak 4 languages. No, no, very little. I can understand when someone's speaking to me,
Mhm.
but I never really practiced like the verbal part.
Mhm.
Like, living in Toronto, you don't have a lot of like French-speaking friends,
Right. So how long did you live in Montreal?
Oh man, we were there for like 3 months until before my dad got a job in Toronto,
Mhm.
and then we shifted over.
Oh.
Yeah, so I was basically raised in Toronto my whole life, and then I spent my summers in Montreal growing up. I still
Nice.
have a lot of family there.
Nice.
I'm actually going next month for a cousin's wedding.
Nice. Montreal is nice. I like Montreal.
Beautiful city. Yeah.
Yeah. I also read that in your education bio that you did a degree in India,
Yes.
in Gujarat.
Yes.
So how did that happen? Like, growing up here and then going over there.
Okay. Yeah. So I was studying at Ryerson originally,
Mhm.
and then I got sick, really sick in my second year.
Mhm.
Missed a couple months of school, and it was just like it was the end of my educational career at that point.
Okay.
And it was a tough choice, but it was like, what do I do next?
Mhm.
Either restart in Toronto
Mhm.
or go abroad and try to get like a life experience as well as an education.
Mhm.
And my parents are like, they're very patriotic,
Mhm.
and they've always pushed the idea of going to India and getting that life experience.
Mhm.
So I went, spent a month there trying to figure out what was going on, figure out the school system.
Mhm.
Then I just literally within a week, I decided to shift my whole life from living in Toronto to living in India for the next 4 years and finishing an education degree that I
Wow.
always wanted.
And your parents were here all this?
Yeah, my parents lived here the whole time, and I just I came back once a year for summer.
Wow.
So this was Montreal for you?
Huh?
This was Montreal for you?
Basically, yeah. During that 4 years, this was my Montreal trip,
Yeah,
Yeah.
coming back here for the summer now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So how was that? Like, how was that transition? Because it's culturally such a big shock.
Wow, huge culture shock, first of
Mhm.
all. Even me being an Indian boy with Indian values growing up here,
Mhm.
going to India. First of all, living in Jane and Finch, I am very blessed that there's a big cultural diversity,
Okay.
right? And then going to Gujarat and living in hostel there,
Mhm.
and the only brown people was a culture shock for me,
Yeah.
Even being Indian, I was just like, I'm not used to seeing all these brown people,
Yeah, and it's completely different the way they are there and the way they are here.
Yeah, it's
Right.
next level Brampton,
Right.
It's just more of the population. But overall, amazing experience.
Mhm.
The first, I think, year and a half was a little difficult because I would get sick a lot, right?
Mhm.
Not used to the water and things like that.
Right.
But once I got used to the water and the food,
Mhm.
man, life was amazing after that.
Nice.
Like I can eat the pani puri or the golgappa, on the street and things like
All
that.
the
Yeah.
Indian street food.
Yeah, being able to enjoy the things that I enjoyed in Toronto without having to worry about getting sick was
Mhm.
like the best part of having to live there after like the year and a half transition.
Nice. So you did engineering there.
Yeah,
In what kind of engineering?
electronics and communication.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you came back here.
Yeah, came back here. I did my conversions, and then I was looking forward to trying to do what the next degree was.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Trying to figure out what the next degree was.
yeah, man, I'm a big nerd. I told you,
Right. So you didn't want to work.
I did want to work, but not as an engineer. That was just a stepping stone to the next thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And what did your parents think about that?
they were like, "What did you go to school for?"
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's a big decision. Right? Like next degree now.
Yeah, my parents are advocates of learning, so that's cool. I was very lucky that way.
Okay.
I think one thing I remember hearing all the time was 1 degree is not enough.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
I see.
yeah, like my dad's big on education, so
Mhm.
I always knew I was gonna go back anyways. And to be honest, man, like I love school.
Yeah.
You know, the act of going to class and learning something, and you know, it's fun for me.
Yeah. I think I could relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you have a higher education too, right? Like, yeah.
I did 2 degrees. Even though all these guys, like most of my friends, they had 1 degree and they started working.
Yeah.
And they were younger than me too.
Yeah.
But I was like, I wanted to learn and I wanted to stay in school.
Yeah.
I was like, I wish there was a job where you can just keep on studying and then someone pays you.
Oh, you're amazing, man.
There is a job. It's called being a professor.
Yeah. That's true. There's people that are like professional students.
Yeah.
Man, if I had the cash, I would probably go to school for a long time.
Right. Yeah. You don't get the money. You just get the.
Yeah.
PK did, right? You ever watched 3 Idiots?
Yeah, I seen that.
You know,
Yeah.
American, he's like studying for someone else.
Yeah, that was good. So that 3 Idiots movie like resembles a little bit of my life, man.
Mhm.
I was like Amir Khan, the guy that went, did the studies, and then I left.
Mhm.
And I lived with 2 of my buddies, Ankit and Kunj, were my room partners for like 4 years, you know?
Mhm.
And I was like that one guy that added a little, I guess, excitement to their
Excitement to the
yeah.
crew. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like the fun guy and the bad influence. So, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the bad influence.
A little bit, man, yeah.
Tell us about that.
In case their parents watches, I don't want to.
All right. Okay. We'll skip over that. We'll
Yeah.
come back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could relate to. I was in school for 6 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was like I just took extra years because I wanted to be in school.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
Yeah.
And then I started working.
Yeah.
And I hated my life after that. I was just like, I mean, the money was there, but
Yeah.
I never just found that satisfaction.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I knew like engineering knowledge was something I wanted, and I chased, and I desperately wanted to get that degree.
Mhm.
But I knew it wasn't like the end goal for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This
Okay.
was just a stepping stone to something that'll take me to the next step. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
then you went to law school.
Yeah. And then I was working for a bit, trying to figure things out,
Mhm.
pay my own bills, things like that. I had to start working, making some cash. But
Mhm.
I came back, and then I came back, and then I started preparing for law school. You know,
Mhm.
get that done.
And then, so you were preparing here to
Yeah.
go to UK?
Yeah. So I went to England for law school then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how many years was
That was a 2-year program.
Okay.
They let you do 2 years if you have a previous degree. To all my Indian friends that go to law
That
school.
was thinking. I
Yeah.
know some
Or
people.
their parents.
Or their parents?
Yeah.
Yeah, or their parents if you want to send your kids.
And out of the time today,
Yeah.
push you.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. Are parents doing that? Are parents pushing kids for law school who already have a degree and a job, maybe?
You know what? There was a lot of brown students there.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming, yeah, like, you know, like,
Actually, 2 of my nephews are going.
really, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
But they don't have any degree. They're going after grade 12.
Okay, yeah, so then it's a 3-year program.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I met some random auntie at a Tim Hortons, and she was just telling me her niece is going now, too. You know?
Right. Where was this in England?
I was in University of Southampton.
Southampton.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereabouts is that?
Southampton is like the shoreline. It's one of the most south cities. It's I
Okay.
think the 3rd biggest city. Fun fact: Southampton is where the Titanic took off from.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody loves that fact.
Yeah, that's like a,
It's a big movie for us.
You've
yeah.
seen that reaction before, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Oh,
everyone,
yeah.
"Oh, Titanic, oh my god.
Southampton, yes, I've heard of it now.
Southampton.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna tell people this fact as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, still that fact. I think
Yeah.
they're redoing the Titanic voyage now. No,
They are?
I saw that online. I read it in a meme, man. It might not be true, but don't quote me on this.
Yeah, meme knowledge is like, I don't know.
PhD, bro.
Yeah.
PhD in memes.
Yeah, I feel like some guy is just sitting there making like these false memes.
Fake news.
Yeah, fake news.
For the
like,
upvotes.
people are gonna believe this anyways. I should do that actually. It's not a bad idea.
Create a new career path called memeology.
Memeology, yeah. School for memes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I have a question about your Gujarat experience.
Yeah, go for
So
it.
going from here,
Yes.
what was the cultural difference you found among the guys of your age, like compared to people raised here?
Very good question. So the people were obviously a lot more curious about me. So I was the only like foreigner at the university at the time, you know? Yeah.
Not an ordinary
No.
kid.
No, as soon as the NRI arrived, everybody in college knew there was like, a Canadian person on university. But the people were very friendly. You know, that's one thing I appreciate about the culture there. You get down and, I'm new, so I'm a little like not sure what to expect and a little lost, I guess, in a sense. But everybody there was just very nice coming into it. I made a handful of great friends, and then even the people that I didn't talk to and they knew we weren't going to be friends, just everyone was very nice all the time.
Mhm.
You know, I found that culture of accepting outsiders and not treating them different, or
Mhm.
well, they do treat you, I guess, a little higher standard and nicer and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
they do.
So
yeah,
that is
yeah.
different, but
Right.
You'll take that.
yeah, you know who
Yeah,
wouldn't,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
They treat you differently in a good way.
Yes, you
Yeah.
know. So like I appreciated those positive, I guess, approaches or those reactions from those guys.
Right.
Everybody there. The cultural hand-holding thing, that was a little bit of adjustment for me to get used to. You know,
Right.
you know, it's part of their thing. So
So
I
did you do that?
a little bit, yeah. You know,
Yeah.
you know, in the beginning, it's just like what's going on, but then after
Yeah.
a while, you know, like hold my, you know, it's just a couple extra seconds, and I just like I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. You know,
Right. And sometimes it just turns into like just you're holding hands and talking.
yeah.
Right.
Like the pinky holding thing kind of threw me off, so I was
Mhm.
like, no, you know. But the hand holding, like if an uncle came up to me and would hold my hand, you know, I would not let go. You know, you don't want to be rude like
right.
that. you know?
Yeah. You don't want to be the one to let go, right?
Yeah, you know. So
Yeah. That happened to me with my cousin as well.
yeah,
I went to India a couple of like this year, but previously as well.
yeah.
So we were at India Gate in Delhi,
Okay, yeah,
and it's like the atmosphere is very romantic.
yeah,
It's evening time. There's like couples and stuff everywhere, and like there's a park. We're looking at the India Gate, and he comes and he holds my hand,
yeah,
and now we're holding hands and we're looking at the India Gate,
yeah,
and I don't want to let go
yeah,
because I don't want to be rude,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So he let go of my hand after a few seconds or whatever.
yeah,
But then this weird thing happened to me. I'm like, he held my hand,
yeah,
right? He was the one who came up to me.
yeah.
I'm like, I should go up to him
Yeah.
and hold his hand as well.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, he's gonna feel bad
yeah,
that he held my hand, but I never
Yeah.
held his hand,
Right.
right? So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot.
yeah,
So I go up to him, and I'm kind of like thinking, like, okay, I don't know how to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you start holding somebody's hand.
yeah.
And at the end, I couldn't do it.
Okay, yeah.
I couldn't do it. I just like stood there. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give up on this. Move on with my life.
Sounds like a lot of my approaches when I was trying to talk to girls as a teenage boy.
Yeah,
Go talk to her, don't do it. You know, go talk to her, don't do it.
yeah. Just for the sake of being nice, I guess the things we do.
Yeah, but you know, it didn't come off as ever like a bad thing. You know, it was just like it's a sign of friendship.
Yeah,
You know, if you guys are good friends, this is what you do.
yeah,
This is how you show like the, you know, your world or your society, whatever it is. So
yeah. It's not, and I think Western. I noticed when I moved from India here.
Yeah.
I feel like the society here is a little bit homophobic,
yeah, big time.
big time,
Yeah.
right? Like I accidentally touched somebody's hand, and the guy went, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
Like, what are you trying to turn me into something? I'm like,
Yeah.
what? This is not how it works, right?
yeah. So I grew up in Jane and Finch. You know, and I have a big mix of friends, and they're all very urban.
Mhm.
And their thing is like, oh, guys don't do that. That's a, you know, that's a wrong mentality and whatnot.
Mhm.
And me being the guy I am, would just constantly just keep hugging them, or you know, I would shake their hand and I'd hold it longer on
Longer.
purpose. And I'm just like, bro, we're boys. You know, just accept it now. You know,
Yeah.
I'll hug them really tight and not let go. And you know, it's just like, get over it. You know, like nothing is gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there's always that one guy in the group who's like really homophobic. Like if
Yeah.
you like touch him even a little bit, he's gonna be like, "Oh no."
Yeah, I used to.
They'll start the conversation. Oh, I'm not homophobic, but this
Yeah,
doesn't look right to me.
Yeah. I see that, and you know, I'm just like, you know what, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
all love at the end of the day. You know, I'm
Right.
not trying to
Yeah.
do anything wrong to anybody. So
Yeah. It's all love, no homo.
yeah,
Right.
right. That's the thing. I forgot about that. Or
Yeah.
pause. That's one.
Right. Right.
That's what the kids say when you say something that is like, I guess, ambiguous. They're like pause. You know,
Pause?
Yeah.
Never heard
Instead of
that.
saying no homo, it's like pause now.
Oh, that's a pause is the thing now?
Yeah, pause is a word. It's just like pause.
So how do you use it?
Let me see. So hey, I'm gonna hold. You need you to hold my hand or something. You know,
Mhm.
for this pause. Like as in, oh, what did you just say? You know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like you're trying to say pause, not that way.
Oh, I see. Like
Yeah.
kind of like, oh, hold on, let's
Is it
pause
no?
this.
I might be using it out of context, but I hear a lot of the young kids say that. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to talk to some of my young cousins.
yeah, you know, get it out of
So,
them.
yeah.
You hear it at the youth center a lot.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, the youth center. Tell us about that. You volunteer with them, right?
yeah. I volunteer with the youth center in Jane and Finch.
Mhm.
I started off doing the homework club. I think 2013 post law school,
Mhm.
and then I just came back and whatever I can. So from anything from helping with food to serving. So we do something called Freedom Fridays, where it's the last Friday of the month, where we'll have people within the community come out to display local talents. So we have a lot of singers, we have dancers, we have spoken word artists, you know, the people that come in and speak about important issues for the community. And we serve food and entertainment, and anyone who wants to comes out. So I help with the food from there. We do homework club whenever they get called now. Sometimes resume help, things like that.
Homework club.
Yeah.
So you help kids with homework?
Yeah. It's a little quiet right now, but I used to help kids with the homework a lot. Like once a week, I would go in for a couple hours. And from anything from math and English, science, anything you want.
Okay.
I try to figure it out and get the homework ahead of time so I can study it a little bit.
Nice.
And then I give them assistance with their homework.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, I just recently realized the importance of volunteering.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, before I was like volunteering, like who wants to do that?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But now I've been in touch with volunteer organizations, or I've been working with people who are volunteering their time for something.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice. I feel like it's good for people to learn certain skills without the pressure of the job.
Yeah, that helps. That's a good aspect too.
Right. That's the aspect I noticed with people as well, that with the job, it's like, you know, you have to have certain things, otherwise you have the fear of getting fired and losing income.
Right.
But with volunteering, you don't have that pressure. It's more like you can do things at your own pace.
Yes. You know, so yeah, you come in and depends, I guess, what you're volunteering for. Like, what are you talking about?
Like I'm working with like even this group right here, Laal Button. I meet with people who work on marketing of this stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And then just other aspects of this.
Yeah.
And most of the people, they are volunteers and they're trying to improve on certain skill that they already have.
Okay.
But they just want to get extra experience.
Yeah. So that's a great aspect too.
Yeah.
My aspect of volunteering is just trying to like add to other people's things.
Giving
Yeah.
to the community.
Yeah, like I'm still a big nerd actually, but I had like 1 or 2 after school programs growing up, and one of them was a basketball one, and I remember it really helped having somebody else there to, you know, spend some time and be from the community and give back to the community, so you can relate to them a little bit.
Yeah. That's nice. I guess if you're at the stage, I guess for that you have to be at a certain stage, because I know for personally I can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
Just because of the way this kind of where I am in life. Yeah. Right. Where I guess you have to be at the stage where you can now give to other people. No.
I think it's all about, I guess, managing your time.
You're at a stage where you can take from other people.
Right. Yeah.
This guy's the opposite of Christmas. You're at the Grinch phase of your life, not Santa Claus.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm like, I don't have time to give at this point of time. And you're right, it might be about managing your time.
You know what, I get it though, because you see like a lot of like celebrities and stuff, these guys all like get famous first and then they start advertising on what they're doing, right? Maybe because by that stage they have more money and more leisure to make decisions on their time. Right. And how, you know, what they do and what jobs they don't take, I guess. Yeah. For me, it was just like my goal is not to give back in big amounts. Like, I'm not loaded. I don't have an abundance of time. But if I can do a little bit here, then I'll throw it in, you know? Right. And my strength, I don't know how to play basketball. I'm not athletic. But I know education. I know how to study. So that's my strength. And that's something I feel I'm confident to help others with. Okay. You know? So, yeah, like I give back a little bit. And it's not a lot, man. But
it feels good, too.
Yeah, you know, it's nice to help somebody else, because I remember being in that position and, you know, it was good when other people helped me out. Yeah. I genuinely believe we all have a responsibility to give forward a little bit, you know? Right. I agree. And it's not just to people that, you know, like we all have nieces and nephews, and not just to them, you know, because that's our responsibility as well, but just anybody in itself. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
From even like a mental health perspective, it's really good for you.
Yeah.
Like to be altruistic, like not doing things only for your own interest. Yeah. Like for your own gain. Yeah. It's like good to do things for community, and yeah.
Agreed, man. 100%. Yeah. Grinch.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm learning as well. Like, yeah, it's either way. Like, I do agree that, you know, you have to give to the community, or not have to. It's nice to give to the community, right? Yeah. And I always have that in my head, even when I'm working with people. But that's the way it came out. I'm gonna stick with it.
Oh, good, man. We all go through phases, you know.
Yeah. Maybe one day. question I want to ask you is about Jane and Finch.
Yes.
You know, when we talk about Jane and Finch,
yes.
people think about, oh, their gun shooting, violence.
You know what? I'm very glad you bring that up. I didn't even think about mentioning that to you when you asked about topics. Yeah, you know, the Jane and Finch does have a negative stereotype. And when I was younger, there was a lot more violence, and it was on the news for a lot more non-positive or negative aspects of what's going on in the community. But I think since then, things have changed a lot. You know, all the drug dealers and those gangbangers that I knew all moved to Brampton anyways.
Brampton is the new Jane.
I'm kidding, Brampton. But no,
I'm scared driving here from Jane and Finch.
I rolled up my windows. No, but like, you know, like a lot of those guys there, they moved out, you know, and it's like any community. There are some bad things. It's just we have so many more people because of all the buildings and things like that. You know, so sometimes it's hard to focus on the positive because there are a lot more negative things when you have more people in lower economic situations.
Media sometimes portrays it.
Media is the worst, man. Like sometimes they'll blow something up into economic huge proportions just to get that story, you know?
Just to get views and...
Right. And I don't think they're fair in the balance of, yes, we have some negative things, but they don't show the positive as well.
Yeah.
And I think as a media, you guys have a responsibility to, you know, do a little bit of both.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch like CP24. I feel like CP24 is the worst.
Yeah, like, and you hear what's going, the news that they're talking about, and even the sound effects.
Yeah.
You know, it's like an Indian serial. I'm just like, wow, so much drama, you know?
So much drama. Yeah.
Yeah, like, calm it down a little bit, you know? Don't get the people that excited.
I was noticing, because even at work, where I used to work, there's CP24 all the time.
Yeah.
And everything that they show is bad, because the weather is never good. The news is never good. And they have something scrolling at the bottom. That's not good either.
Yeah.
And then there's the other thing, which is the accidents segment, the roads, which are always blocked.
Yeah.
There's nothing good on that.
Oh, man. You know, I wish I could be a weatherman. It's like that one job where you don't have to have it perfect, you know?
Right.
You're allowed to make mistakes, you know?
And nobody knows.
Yeah.
It's gonna rain.
I know they do well too. Like they pay you well.
Yeah,
it's not like minimum wage.
Because meteorologist doing it right, eh?
Yeah.
Chances of, or, you know, like, maybe there's going to be some rain today. Maybe not.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
And people forget about it. What the man said.
So let's talk about cooking.
Yeah.
So when did you get into that, and how's that journey?
Ooh, man, cooking is probably one of my biggest passions.
Bigger than magic?
Bigger than magic. You know, cooking was like that first thing I knew I loved to do. I think the first time I made like eggs was like, I was like 6 years old. I messed it up. I was trying to make some sunny side up eggs, but it broke the yolk and it wasn't fun to eat after, but I ate those. And then I was like 10 years old, started making roti in the house, and it was just like something we kind of just grew up doing. So like I grew up in a family of where all the males cook. So me, my brother, my dad, both my grandfathers used to cook. I found out later on in life.
As a Punjabi person, I haven't seen that. Right in my family. But is it like culturally it's very common among Gujaratis, or is like your family was more into it?
So my immediate family, meaning me, my brother, my dad, and my mom, we, as like more males in the house, we all did cooking, you know, we all still do cooking. But within my cousins and things like that, that was never like, oh, you have to cook, you know, it was because most of them had sisters. So the parents were like, oh, girls do this and guys do this, you know?
Gender rules, right?
Yeah, the gender rules. But I never grew up learning gender rules because I didn't have any females in the house besides my mom, right? And mom did like her responsibilities and dad did his, but I always learned from both of them, you know? And I'm the youngest, so it's like you go where anybody is calling you, you know? Yeah.
Also, you're the youngest.
I am the youngest, right? So I would help my mom cook sometimes in the kitchen. I'd have to go outside and help my dad fix the car. It was just wherever they needed the help. It was just like, you know, send the help, you know?
The helper,
yeah, basically.
Right.
So it was always just like, all right, this is something I have to learn.
Okay, and then what happened after that? Like, so you were into cooking at 10, you were like making rotis already, which is a big step.
Yeah, that was fun. I burned my hands a lot. That was a good learning experience.
Right.
And then, so I spend a lot of time in the kitchen whenever I go somewhere. So if I go to see my buddies, you know, I'll say hi to them. But if their mom's cooking, I'm in the kitchen too. Like, auntie, what are you cooking? You know, I love to eat, so I love being in the kitchen and seeing what's.
Are you a picky eater?
When I cook for myself, no. But when I'm cooking for other people,
I want to make sure they have the best experience. So like I'm a picky feeder.
Picky feeder.
Yeah, you know. Like if I'm eating for myself, it doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to look amazing. I'm just trying to get like flavors down. But when I cook for other people, I know I put a lot more effort into like making it look good. And you know, even like my Instagram pictures, what I post is yes, my food, and I've cooked it, but that's not how I'll eat it. You know, I don't set it up like that all the time. I'll just like throw it on a plate if I have to.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I like mixing everything and tasting all the flavors together.
Oh, I'm like that too.
Yeah. Okay.
I just mix everything, and sometimes people are like looking at me like, "Oh my god, you shouldn't be mixing this."
Yeah. So like you know when you go like a Thai restaurant, I'm just like a little bit, you know, put some stuff, some onion in there, you know, some matcha or achara, and then just like bite it together.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you? I guess being a cook, so you worked in restaurants.
Yeah.
Stuff, right?
Couple Indian restaurants, one in Toronto, one in India. I worked in a pub, or it was like a lounge in the UK. They had a mixed food. Boston Pizza here, Tobacco Yacht Club, and then I did one in Gatanapwe. They've called me down a couple of times just to do Indian food. It was a seafood restaurant down there, but they want to do an Indian themed day, so I guess they called it the Indian guy to come do the cooking. You know?
Okay, so taking it from like a personal kitchen to like working in restaurants, did you have to do a course? Something like that?
I think maybe people do courses. I recommend courses for everybody out there. For me, that was not how it was done.
Okay.
I was just like the helper, you know, in the kitchen. So I spent a lot of time in the kitchen with my mother, my grandmother. You know, like my grandmother is probably one of my biggest influences and the best chef or the best cook that I've ever known in my life. And she cooked fantastic. So I would just sit there and kind of watch, you know. And I loved eating after, so I was just like, "How did you do this? How did you do this magic of flavors?" Right? Yeah. So I would just sit there and kind of watch and have to absorb what was going on. And I still do that with my buddies' moms. You know, like some of them are West Indian, some of them are Jamaican, Punjabi moms too. And I would just like sit in the kitchen and just try to, you know, what are you doing? How do I get this? How do I get from here to there?
So when you go to the restaurants, are you also helping there, or are you like the head guy?
Oh, so I've always been a helper. I've never actually run the kitchen. I've helped with like suggesting recipes and things like that. But I come in and I'm just someone that's trying to learn at the same time.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
My kitchen experiences are diverse, but it's never been like, so the longest I worked at one restaurant was about 3 years. First year was just serving, and then the next 2 years is when the chef was like, "Oh, maybe you can help in the kitchen." And then he saw I had some kitchen skills, and then I was managing their tandoor and things like that.
Nice.
Yes. Speaking of which, you guys should come to my house. I have a tandoor at home.
Wow.
Yeah, so if you, you know, like, do you guys eat meat, non-veg?
I'll eat anything.
Yeah. I make some amazing tandoori chicken. Guys.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, straight from scratch, mom's recipe. So you got to come try it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
we got the invitation.
100%, man. Yeah.
Maybe we can learn some magic tricks then too.
Yeah, of course. We'll schedule them together. It'll be, you know, nice. Yeah.
Tandoori chicken and magic tricks.
Yeah. Who doesn't love food and a show?
Yeah. Exactly. So does that mean it's time?
And what is your favorite cuisine?
Ooh. So growing up eating Indian food, I love an abundance of flavor. So like Indian food has that, Thai food has that, you know, things where there's like a lot of masala. Even like Mexican food, they use a lot of ingredients like we do. So like from like the jeera to the coriander to garlic, chilies, things like that. So anything with like a lot of flavor. And then dessert, I love sweet. You know, I have like a massive sweet tooth, so yeah, you gotta balance it out. Yeah, it's bad, man.
I can just tell from your reaction.
Yeah, it's too much eating, man. Too much eating.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I feel hungry.
Yeah, he's a big sweet tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, sick.
I have one cheat day, and that day I eat so much, like
really
it balances out.
Okay, that's
for
sick.
the whole week.
That's good. That's good.
One thing left we wanted to discuss was different audience.
Yes.
Like, right, for your being a magician.
Yeah.
How is a different audience? How do you like? Do you change your tactics or?
Ooh, good question. Great question. So audiences are all completely different. I find there is a cultural difference everywhere I performed. So I'll give you an example. In India, we're a very religious and spiritual society, right? But when I perform for people there, the religious people are usually like, "Ooh, this shouldn't be happening." You know what I mean? You can tell like I'm messing with their concept of reality a little bit, and they're least likely to like applaud or give me that. You know, it's like, "Oh, I've seen this." You know?
Okay.
Yeah. Younger generations now are a lot more open to it in India. So I performed in China last summer, in Shanghai and Beijing. They love it there. Chinese people, love being entertained and they love seeing magic and they're very receptive. When I performed in England, like the local UK people, the British people were totally like non-smiley, and even though the rich people and let's say a certain skin color of people, they're like no, like I show them a trick and they'd be like confused, but like, oh, okay, they're not trying to give you any love for your art.
Okay.
They're more like, oh, we don't want to show you that we're surprised here.
I see.
Strange, man.
Yeah,
big
so
time.
That you're not feeling good.
In the beginning, I was just like, what's going on, man? I know I bring you some good stuff, But then I realized it was like a cultural thing, so I was just like, all right, you're lost, bro.
This is we are talking about UK.
Yes, UK. Yeah, like there, I saw a lot of people not resisting the urge to be surprised.
This is on on streets or like.
I did a lot of pubs there.
Pubs, okay.
Yeah.
Pubs.
Yeah.
But drunk people, I would expect them to.
Okay, so the younger kids, especially when they're tipsy, love it. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm talking about like the older audiences and that are more like stuck in their ways of this is the way we grew up, right? So they're more of like raise your nose high in the sky, and we don't want to. We don't want to smile to give you that satisfaction that you did a good job or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you also did a tour in India.
Yeah, that was 2017. 5 weeks. So the day I wrote my final bar exam, that same day I took an airplane. So I basically wrote an 8-hour exam, went home, changed, and then took I think 18-hour or 23-hour flight or something like that. Went straight to India, and then I performed for 14 magic shows in 5 cities throughout Gujarat, all free, all on my own time and expense. And it was just like schools, villages, and I was trying to like basically give back as big as I could or as best as I could at that time. I knew I had some free time, so
right. That's really cool. Yeah.
You know what? It was a great experience for me, man. Like, I had no idea what I was doing going in. And while I was still traveling there, I'm still trying to plan shows. People are not getting back to me. It's like, like, oh, I'll call mat karenga or something like that. And just like nothing would work out. And then when I got there, I had to like run around a little bit, but it worked out. I had from having 8 shows, 2 getting canceled after I land, and then another picking up a whole bunch more when I get there. So it was amazing.
Yeah, it's funny how things work out, right?
I'm so glad it worked out. Like, even if I hit 10 shows, I was like amazed, but it went a little bit better than that.
So how many shows did you end up doing?
Ended up doing 14. I had 8 booked, and then 2 got canceled because the guy stopped calling me back.
So you have 6 to 14.
Yeah, so it was really cool.
Yeah, that's
because I got down there, started doing advertising, and people were like, "Hey, can you come here? Can you come here?"
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
And
like,
free
magic,
audience was
right?
like a.
Majority of the audiences were like younger, so I did a couple schools. I've done I did hospitals where there was just like the children's ward, and I did that with a group of individuals from Ahmedabad, where they were already doing these things. Like, it was a young group of people called Muskan Clowns, and they would just go to hospitals every weekend and just entertain kids, putting on makeup and clown outfits and stuff like that. So that was the first one I joined in a hospital, and then planned schools, community centers. There was 2 schools where one was like intellectually disabled and one was like physically disabled schools. So like some of the students, I did actually a show where there was deaf and mute students in the audience.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm performing and talking in Gujarati, in my English Gujarati. And then there is a sign language instructor who is next to me, and the professor there, she's signing to them. And you could just see like this kid's faces light up, man. And I was like, I'm so happy I came.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was that challenging?
It was a challenge. I'm not going to lie. Like, I had never performed for an audience like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know if this is going to work out. I just went a little slow, and I was kind of hope for the best. And the students were a lot smarter, like, and a lot older than I expected, because I thought it was gonna be like younger kids. So I wasn't sure if they would get everything, especially with my language barrier.
Yeah.
But it all worked out.
Okay.
They were older kids. They could read my lips. So I was like, I was already like, I wasn't prepared, and they were already ahead of me. So it was great.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you had a good response?
Yeah, great responses. Everybody loved the show. I didn't get any complaints, so I'm very happy that worked out. I think one of the shows, like, I only had like 40 people in the audience. Maybe that was like a village that I put in a village show last minute. Could have wished I could have got the whole village, but hey, you can't,
Right.
Yeah, it worked out for them, so it was good.
Yeah. 40 is like to me, that sounds like 40 people, and you're saying like only 40 people.
Yeah, I was just like, hey, I was trying to get more people in the village, but it was a last minute thing.
Yeah. I guess that happens sometimes, right?
Yeah, I'm happy it worked out at the end.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that show was never even, or that village was never even on the roster, so that was good though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just want to say something here that a lot of people, when they're starting out, they have dreams or things they want to do, and like something comes in the way, and then they're like, oh, it didn't work out, it's not gonna work out. Like just using your example here, like you had 8 shows and it went to 6.
Yeah.
Then you ended up doing 14.
Yeah.
And that's what I've noticed with some of the stuff that I try to do is like once you kind of get to it, once you like just keep doing it, you find ways, you meet people.
Yes.
Right.
I don't know how to explain this, but every time I try to take on a new hurdle or a new challenge or a new goal in life, you can only prepare so much, and then you got to take that first step and start executing. But there's always going to be hiccups.
Yeah.
There's always going to be those unexpected challenges or hurdles, and you just have to.
You have to find a way around.
Yeah, you kind of have to be adaptable, and just sometimes things aren't going to be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And you go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's good advice. So going back to the audience question. So
there was an audience question.
No, not from the audience.
I was like, whoa. Felt special for a second. All right, forget
it. Maybe we have them. We're not watching Facebook Live.
Okay.
Maybe there's somebody there.
Yeah.
Usually somebody is, but he's not here today.
Yeah. It's my mom, guys. My mom. She's watching us on Facebook Live.
I can check that actually. Is she watching?
No, she doesn't have Facebook.
Okay. I meant by audience, like you were talking about the audience, how different audiences react differently.
Yeah.
So how was the Indian audience, as in like on the shows that you did?
Super receptive. Yeah. Not only just the young kids, but even like so when I did the uncles and aunties and like the villages and stuff like that, super receptive. Everybody that came to the show, I think, came with an open mind to being entertained, and I try to give them a little bit more than just magic by pushing my message. And the message the whole time was like, believe in the impossible. That is my message to all the kids. Right. The magic word for children's shows is always believe, and it's just like so my language in Gujarati, it's like asambhav ma mano, believe in the impossible. And the parents and the kids both love that message, Parents saw why I was doing it, and the kids took it in for their own lifestyle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does it ever fail, like your tricks?
You know what? Yeah, every now and then. Like in the beginning when I was first learning, a lot of hiccups, a lot of mistakes.
Right.
But every now and then something will go wrong. And you're on stage with like a whole bunch of people watching you, just like in your head, like, oh, Can I swear this? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're just like, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do now?
Right.
Yeah. And then you basically just pretend like that was a part of the trick. But wait, there's more. I wasn't supposed to cut my finger off, but whatever, let's just keep going. And and then I just try to confuse the audience maybe a little bit and then go into another trick that I know is going to work.
Right. Yeah. Try to play along and transition into it.
Yeah, I've tried saying, oh shit, I made a mistake. And, even that works. The audience appreciates that you're just like, okay, this guy is not, like holier than thou or trying to, be something he's not. You make mistakes on stage sometimes.
Yeah.
And do you keep learning new tricks or you're like sticking to your old, like whatever you're more comfortable with?
Great question. So in the last year, I've stopped learning tricks. I have like a good maybe 2.5, 3 hours of show time already, But now for the last year, I've been focusing on like the entertainer aspect without the technical, just like, so a magic trick when I do stuff, there's a lot of technical movements and that stuff I can practice and that stuff I have down, but I want to become a better entertainer. So you do stand up, right, Sonny? And you can engage the audience and just by speaking to them, drawing a picture. I want to become somebody whose words they hold on as well as just somebody that they're watching. So I've been working on that aspect of my show. Like technical I have down. I have a handful of shows that I can do, but right now it's more about how do I engage my audience better without just doing a magic trick. So I think next month I'm going to be doing a stand-up with my cousin that you met, Himansu.
Right.
Yeah, it is a show downtown or Liberty Village. I'm going to try doing like a 7-minute stand-up set, but it's going to be magic and comedy. So I'm doing my magic tricks, but I'm not doing it for the kid audience. Now I'm going to put in a little bit of my adult humor and my silly side and, try to make some jokes as opposed to pick a card,
Right.
I'm going to be a lot more, yeah. I'm going to try to, huh? We haven't figured out a date yet, but most likely after the 20th. The wedding coming up, and then we're both going to be in Montreal, so just after that.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll keep you posted, man.
Keep me posted.
Yeah.
I'd love to see it. Sorry. Yeah.
So you're not sticking to your comfort zone. You keep expanding it.
Always, man. That comfort zone will kill you. Not to say don't take breaks. Obviously, take the breaks, but yeah, I get bored when I'm just like comfortable, so I need to do something to keep the mind going a little bit. Cause a little trouble or learn something new, one of the two. So I like learning new stuff, so I'll just stick with that for now. Yeah.
Nice,
man.
And we also like have stand-ups here and there, open mic night.
Right. We spoke about that a while ago, right?
Yeah. He's in touch with that. Yeah. So maybe he'll come to one of those if you want to try something new.
Definitely. Let me give this a shot next month, and then I can start getting that set out there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to get like a 7-minute comedy magic set going.
Right.
And then I can try to see how it works on different audiences.
Yeah, that's an interesting combination.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully it works out.
Hopefully, yeah.
If not, at least I learned a little bit of how to fail on stage.
Yeah.
What not to do.
Yeah. Exactly.
Cool. All right.
So is it time for a magic trick?
Yeah, let's do another one.
Right.
All right, let's do. So this is not a full deck of cards, but I have one here. Okay, so not a full deck, but this one is a full deck. There's 52 cards inside. No jokers. But I want you guys to think of a card together. Okay? So this is what we're going to do. Chima, I just want you to think of a number from 1 to 13. Basically, ace to king. Just think of one of them. Don't say it out loud. Don't tell me yet.
Okay.
Sonny, I just want you to think of a shape. Diamonds, clubs, hearts, or spades. Think about it. Don't tell me yet. Got it?
Okay.
Good. Chima, just look this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have a number. But you have a very good poker face, so that was good. Diamonds, clubs, hearts, or spades. Diamonds, clubs. You have one. Good. I'm going to make a prediction. Try to guess what I think you guys are thinking. Don't say it out loud, guys. Don't say it out loud. I don't want to overhear it. All right. I've turned one card in the opposite direction. I'm going to leave this right here. I can't change my prediction. Let me just double check, make sure I got this. You guys can change yours if you want. All right, we're good. You haven't said it aloud, right?
Yeah.
Good. There's no way I could have heard this. And we haven't set this up for the audience. Mm-hmm. Have we set this up? Did you think? No? Did I tell you about this earlier? Good. And you haven't said it, but at the count of 3, what I want you guys to do is look at each other and say your selection. So 1, 2, 3.
Clubs.
So we have clubs and we have a 3. So between the two of you, we have 3 of clubs. Mm-hmm. For me to get this right, I would have to get inside your head and your head. Mm-hmm. Yes? Are you sure you don't want a 7 and you don't want a diamonds? That might make this a lot easier for me. No, all right? Sure. All right. No. Watch, I'm going to show you the one card, empty deck, that I have. 3 of clubs, right? Mm-hmm. If we go through the whole deck, you'll see one card opposite direction. Look.
Right.
Go for it.
Yeah. 3 of clubs.
3 of clubs.
That's pretty good.
Quickly, think about your bank card number and the pin. Huh? I said, think about your bank card number and the pin. No. Nobody likes my jokes, guys. Don't worry.
No, we got it.
Yeah, so I do a little bit of mind reading too. Mess with the. Nice. Yeah, it's just like there's no way he got this.
That was good, man. No, I kind of had it. I was like, I gave it away.
Yeah.
I kind of had a feeling. I'm like, I gave it away. Yeah.
No, I didn't. I thought he didn't pick it up. Like I wasn't expecting you to pick 3.
Really?
I had a poker face. Like
you did have actually a very good poker face.
Yeah.
I did this trick for a lot of people, and people were just like, there was none of that. You were like good. I was just like that. And this guy's
That's
really.
That's why I thought. I'm like, oh, he's not good.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's good. That's good mind reading. That's a good trick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, man. I like mixing it up, so I don't want to just pick a card, put it back. Mm-hmm. I want to do something where I teach you. So when I do my stage shows, I'll teach the audience a trick too. And that's how I start off, because the name is Gambit Magician, and Gambit is giving you a little bit so I can get the upper hand, in the sense of I will teach you some magic, but then I will take it to the next step. So while you're thinking, oh, this is what he's probably doing, I'm doing something else, and it blows your mind, you know? Yeah.
So is that what Gambit means?
Gambit is an action move or device used to, I believe. So I'll explain to you, like I explained to Minder. You know, in chess, when you're playing chess against somebody, you will sacrifice your pawn so you can get their queen.
Yeah.
So Gambit is a move like that. So I'm giving you a little bit, so you think you have an advantage, and then I am stealing your queen or eating your queen at the same time.
Wow.
So I will teach you some basic sleights of magic, and then I will do something that is next level. So it just keeps you guessing and more excited to learn something else.
So is that why you volunteer?
What do you mean? I can steal the kids' lunch money.
Oh, nice.
All right, man. It was really nice having you here.
Dude, this is very cool.
Concludes our time. We'll get you back.
Yeah, man.
Here again.
We'll do some food stuff. How about that?
Food stuff?
Yeah.
What is that?
Food, like.
As in, like, on the show?
Yeah, if you guys want to do food, we'll do food. You know, the kitchen's my comfort zone, so like, you know.
Yeah. Maybe the next one we'll do it in the kitchen.
Yeah, why not?
Actually, yesterday I was listening to a podcast. The guys were in kitchen.
Okay.
They were doing podcasts in kitchen.
In the kitchen? Nice.
Yeah, they weren't cooking, but they were. I don't know why they were having a conversation in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The kitchen's just a happy place, man.
I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know that before meeting you.
Yeah. It's kitchen is where I'm like creative and at peace at the same time. You know? I don't know if that makes any sense, but my mind is running around and I'm at peace. So it's harmony. Yeah.
Harmony.
Yeah.
Balance.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. Yeah. A lot of times when your mind is running around, but you do feel peaceful at the same time.
Yeah. It's like you're on stage, you're probably thinking about your set, but you know, you feel comfortable holding that mic.
Yeah, I think you're engaged. You're so like meaningfully engaged into something.
Yeah.
And that's why you feel at peace, because now you're engaged in this thing.
Yeah. And even the people watching you, I find they get that vibe from you, you know?
Right. Yeah.
They're like, oh, this guy is in his zone, or he's in his comfort zone. You see him and they just like, they feel at peace watching you doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Any last words for the audience before we close off?
No, man, but thank you guys for having me out. Audience, thank you for coming in and joining us. But no, thanks for having me out, guys. This is my first podcast experience, so this is good.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah,
we'll hold it a little longer.
So somebody give me one of these ones.
A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, man.
Thanks.
All right, we'll close it off here.